Hey everybody, funny me back here, and I'm with you once again, Gary. This is going to be a response to Todd Malicote. Now, for those who don't know, me and Todd were on a G-Man stream about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, where G-Man was going on about some nonsense, I can't even remember now. But Todd's a great guy. I suggest you subscribe to him, I'll leave his channel and the video I respond to down below. And if you think I'm misunderstanding his video, please do so, because, I think I've got some of the things he said, and I think he's got some things incorrect, but we'll go to that. So, I responded to his video, which is Bible Study minus number 2, Textual Analysis 101. Now, for those who don't know, I'm a English grad, so textual studies is right up my alley. Now, he gets textual studies a bit wrong, and I'll explain why. Because textual studies is not just going into translations, because errors in translations will just happen naturally, even in fiction and non-fiction. Because when you're doing cross languages, even if it's in languages that exist today, there will be translation errors, in which you get two different translations based upon those texts. That does not denote anything from the veracity of what is written. That's just one thing, because I can give several places where actually there's been an argument recently, and this is good from being English grad, that translation should be seen as a creative writing art in and of itself, because whenever you're translating work from a different culture, there'll be different translations of different words, because different terms translate differently across different cultures. So it's the same with this. So again, the first one he notes as a problem is that the text is over 400 years old. That is not a problem. Something being ancient or being from a different time period does not denote its veracity, or does it know its inveracity. It has nothing to do with its truth or false indication. It has to do with now again, you could point out the fact that they did not have all the textual text that we have now, which would be a fair argument, but again, you use this as a basis of why they're bad translations, which is false. They're not bad translations. They're actually good translations based upon the information they had at that current time. So, well, my basis upon, glad you asked, the fact that we had the preface. Now, if you haven't done so, please read the preface of William McDonald below, in which they go on for quite some time about, it's not going to be a perfect version, there's going to be errors, and that basically the thing what we should be going to is God and Jesus and stuff like that, that the actual text isn't really that important, given a lot of things. Now, I wish more people would actually read the blimey Facebook preface, and again, don't take my word for it, actually read the preface. I'm going to leave it down below, and again, it's unchanged if you want to find other versions that I'm sure they're available online for you. But again, the King James preface. Now again, he talks about context, but he never actually provides it. Now I'm actually going to read you the context of the people who actually wrote the King James Bible, who actually wrote the preface, and actually wrote other things, like for the 29 articles. So, we have High Church Anglican priests who wrote it, but we also have Scottish Presbyterians, and also we have Calvinists. Now, those three groups came together to create, I think, a very good Bible, considering the information they had at the time. We have them, praising the work of St. Jerome, Syrian of Jerusalem, people who actually brought the words together, and they praise other church fathers in their writing and other things. So this is not meant to be some overarching, perfect book. They understand that they're doing no translation, that they could make errors, and even state in the actual preface itself they could be making errors. So again, the people who actually wrote the King James Bible before you, Todd, tell you that again, yeah, they could make errors because you're human, and unfortunately, whenever you do translations, you're going to make errors. So the second thing he talks about how we can translate, and he makes some valid points. I say to you, when we translate in any words, we go for the etymology, we go for a lot of the way words are used, because again, we use the words different ways, because again, you think of the word Q, Q-U-E, Q, C-U-E, Q, they all mean different things, but they're pronounced the same. So again, it's the same thing in Hebrew. There's different languages which have different meanings depending on how you use them, which you valid use it because it's different with for man, woman, boy, child, a lot of other things as well, which again is not necessarily in the actual text. So, the only other thing I'd say to him is that again, that is what textual analysis is. Textual analysis is where did this come from? What part of the world did the Bible come from? Now, again, you can't be basing our understanding of the Bible based upon a bunch of English people the 1600s. We need to be basing where the Bible actually came from, which is the Near Middle East. Now, the Near Middle East, especially at that time, was a very disjointed area because we have the Jews who, at that time, whether you believe Jesus exists or not, he did, but we'll forgive that he didn't for a minute, were just about to be disbanded to all corners of the earth by the Romans, because the Jews are just be pounding, doing things like that. So that is the context of the actual Bible. If you want to look at the context of the King James Bible, we have the fact that there was just a break from Rome. The Protestant Church, which is the Church of England and Germany and a few other countries, I think Holland as well. I'm not quite sure when they quite broke off, but there's a break off between those countries and Rome. And as such, this is the reason that these Bibles were written, because of the affirmation of the break off from the Church of Rome. So. That is the important part. So what is so important about this text? This text. So it's because because now more people could read than ever. There was more wide reading, because before I knew it was more limited numbers, but after several events there was more reading. In common people. So that is what's important about the King James Bible, to read and understand that. Also, it's also important to understand with the King James Bible that it is a translation into English, and with any translation you're going to get errors, you're going to get mistakes. And again, they don't use the Hebrew text. They use Vulgate, they use a lot of other things. So I would suggest to you, if you want to discuss this, that's fine. But I suggest you maybe read the preface, read the 29 articles, and maybe that will give you a better idea of where the text came from. That will find a better analysis than just going off with bad translation, because again, translation errors will happen with any piece of work from any foreign language to modern language. If you want to respond to me, great, I'll respond back. See you later. Please subscribe to the topic if you haven't